After a brief discussion with Tyrone this last week, we decided that it was time to potentially try and break my Grayling virginity. It's not something that's local to me. I don't do much travelling with the hours that I fish on the evenings and stuff, but we've managed to snag a day. It's -6 this morning and it's beautiful. We're on the River Teme towards Tenbury Wells. This is a BAA stretch, donning the waders. It's pretty cold. We're trotting down this far edge underneath an overhanging tree. See if we can snag ourselves some grayling. There are chub in here obviously and barber, but if anything, with the conditions the way they are, I'm expecting a grayling. I say expecting, I'm hoping for a grayling. So I've been spraying some maggots over there, almost like I'm chub fishing for a good 15-20 minutes, just a few at a time. I'm gonna have a run through, see what happens. So I've never actually catching or fishing for actually a grayling before. I just did your basic research online, bit of Google, and it seems that they're not too tackle shy and you can fish quite heavy and robust for them. But I've got some 6-pound glide on and some 3-pound bottom, size 14 hook and some maggots and some corn. But as with any new species that I target, I always do my research first. Trawled the BAA website, looking for likely waters. They've got a lot of water, and the teme is the closest to me that throws up some grayling. I don't believe anything of any size comes out, but I'd just like to break my duck. So yeah, a bit of research online, asking a few friends, asking people that have had them online, doing a bit of internet fishing, and then just coming out and having a go. You can't beat actually having a go for them or anything that you're targeting as a new species. So being brand new to the River Teme, today really is going to be spent more of a recce trip than anything. We're obviously looking for lightly swims, and if we get a fish that's a bonus, but we've got all day Friday to come down. But you can't beat being down the river and having a look at it, and certainly having a trot. It looks good, colour looks right, but we've still got to find some fish. So today we'll just have a good look around, drop into a few swims, and then Friday we'll have more of a plan. But this is a new species to me, grayling, so done a bit of research online. It seems pretty basic stuff, so we should give it a go, see what we can find. But at the moment we're in swim number 2. First one was a bit fast, water up behind me, a bit choppy, quite difficult to control the float, so we've moved down to some slacker water where it's deepened off. Feed it up a bit and have a few runs through. I thought I'd drag the bottom then, and then far shelf, try walking back a bit. My net's miles away. I don't know what it is yet. I'm I'm praying it's a Grayling. Don't say that, Ty. Shush. It's fighting very strange. I don't know. Shush. All I can see is white flashes. I think it's a Grayling. Just got a look a bit. Oh, so that's a PB then, Ty, that is. Beautiful. Not a bad little fish either. They're over there, finally had them maggots. Finally dropped into the right swim. So the lightly swim paid off. I've had my first Grayling. It's not huge, but I wasn't expecting a big fish here. I know they flap a lot, so doing this over the water isn't probably the best idea. So there it is, beautiful little Grayling. They are very, very pretty fish. Big old sail on the top. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's worth the drive over in -6. We'll see if we can have some more out there. I mean, that was second run through in this swim. And it took some maggots. I think it's ready to go back. We won't keep it out too long. Very wiry. Yes, beautiful. Let's get it back, Ty. Let's have some more. I knew there was some fish there. That's 2 bites I've missed there. I thought I was running out bottom, right in the middle of the swim. I thought I'll have one more run through. And we've got another Grayling. A tiny, tiny, tiny one, but it's a Grayling. Gotta go out and come round. I don't want to fall in here. Okay, we've hooked something a lot bigger. I think it's a chub. I've been running through this area just down here and I've been getting all the bites in the same spots. I switched to a single maggot on Tyrone's advice, which you will love, and I think I've hooked a chub. But I seem to have got them all feeding just before this tree. I'm going to get back towards my net, Tyrone, making sure I don't step in any holes. I knew they were there, I was getting the bites. Oh, it's off! Good fish that was. So after losing that big one on Wednesday, we're back in the same swim, of course. And this is going to be our first trot through. This is really our first trot through. It's even colder today. Give them a few maggots, not too many. Hopefully they're going in the same place again. So let's see. I've put some Vaseline on the rings and even that's freezing. So, not ideal, but perfect for the Grayling. It's not ideal peeling off line with the frozen rings, but hopefully it should go down a bit closer to where we were getting the bites on Wednesday. Straight through the bite zone without anything, Ty. But I kind of just stepped a bit. I was on the deck on Wednesday and I've not hit bottom yet. No. Try and let it go down over there. That's better. It's dragging bottom on that shelf. It was doing that last week. Wednesday, sorry. Here we go. That's better. That's where I had that bite around there. So if I get it up in the water, that's bottom for sure. I've had a couple of runs through, no bites, but now I'm getting plagued with the ice in the rings. I've had Vaseline and glycerine on it, but it's just so cold, it's freezing up. But I'll get them free and keep trotting. Make sure I get the order right. So we've moved to a swim further upstream. First swim didn't produce a bite. The sun's got up a little bit now, so hopefully things warm up a touch, but again, first run through the new swim. Just going to lay out in front of us. Managed to get out pretty much right above where I want my flight to go. So I shouldn't have any too much trouble controlling the line. See what the depth's like. I've set it to pretty much what it was like on Wednesday, but we've noticed there's some ice on the margin where the river's been up and dropped and it's frozen. So it's very, very cold. And the river's still finding out. It's a little bit clearer than it was on Wednesday as well. A bit of a green tinge has dropped off. But we should go down through where we had some bites on Wednesday. See, first run through, they can get a bite. It's getting close. Yep, first trot through, exactly the same spot as Wednesday. And we've, oh, it's come off. That's okay. That's okay. I think. Is it okay? okay. It's a good sign, exactly the same spot. They're just held up on this far margin under a tree. We had a look over the bridge earlier into the shallow water and there's no signs of any life. So they seem to be tucked in. It runs off, just drops out in front of me to about, oh, I think that's bottom. Yep. To about 3 or 4 foot deep. And they're just sat in a deeper, warmer hole, I imagine. So they've got any sense. So we've got ice in the tip and we are hooked into a fish. I seem to have pushed down after I lost that first one, which was only smaller. It feels a decent fish, but it doesn't feel, I don't know, Grayling like. So I'm going to come in for my net. Just keep connected to it. I don't know. I've never caught enough Grayling to know. It's not huge. It's a Grayling. Yee! So we've had one. A few runs through and they've pushed a bit further down. Very wiry little fish. And they're only little, but we're not here for the big ones. We're just here for some sport. And they are beautiful, beautiful fish. He's behaving. I've got him over the water, so he's safe if he drops in. Yeah, they come on a bit further down than what we was having them on Wednesday. I'll probably feed them up a bit. Yeah, we'll get this one back and as usual, try for some more. So the first thing I do when I've decided where I'm going to fish is feed. When I do a lot of float fishing for chub in the winter, it can take as long as half an hour to get the chub going on the maggots. Bring them out from underneath the snags that we can see down there. So the first thing I do is just feed. Bait approach for the Grayling today will be mixed maggots and some corn. Corn can obviously sort out some bigger fish, but just a few maggots, 6 or 7, sprayed out every minute or so, above obviously where you're going to be trotting into. And then hopefully when you put in, they're already at it. But it can be very easy to come into a swim and just start fishing it straight away, and certain swims of course you can do that, but when you've got to build a swim, you've got to be patient and you've got to wait before you put that bait in, or that hook bait in rather. So that's the last lot I'm going to give them. And while we're waiting, now that the swim is primed, I shall show you the rig I'm going to use to tackle the Grayling with. This is the 12 to 14 foot glide. Lovely float rod, good through action. I've got an Axis 3000 and that's loaded with 6 pound glide. This float line is fantastic. Sits on the top beautiful, and the pickup's really, really fast, really easy to control. Good 6 pound float line. Got a 4 gram Avon float, nice and heavy. It's not too heavy, they do come in the 5 and 6 gram, and I think even bigger. But there's not much flow on this section, so that controls really, really well. I've got a 4 gram Olivet. Below that is a float stop, just to set my depth of the Olivet, so there's no shot pinched on the line or anything. Got a Korum quick change hook link swivel. It's got a lovely little sleeve that goes over that hook at the bottom. Below that, 3 pound hook link and a size 14 specialist hook. Nice fine gauge on that. And that's it. Play around with the depth, very similar to the stuff that I do for the chub. And again, this is all what I found out through asking people, looking online. Wasn't too sure, had a vague idea of what I wanted to do. But yeah, simple setup. Trot it through your swims, find the depth, find the bottom, and it should work out. If you're a beginner to this, I'm not a beginner to float fishing, but a beginner to grayling fishing, but if you're a beginner to trotting a float on the river, it's pretty basic stuff, but get out and practice. Experience running through swims is the best thing that you can do to get better at it. It is a fine art, and there are some people that are very, very good at it. But it's not rocket science. You can control the line, control the float, all with your finger with a nice long float rod like this one. And you can really search the river as well. But if it's something that you're new to, you could try a nice wide stretch somewhere with not many snags, nice and deep, and just practice controlling the float. Maybe get yourself some roach, some dace, and little chub, and just work up from there. But again, I'm new to this for the grayling fishing myself, so I'm learning as I'm going, and I'm always learning with the float fishing. But it's worth a go. So that is the first trot through a brand new swim. We've really struggled on the couple of swims we had fish on Wednesday. We've come all the way down the bottom of the stretch, pretty much the last peg, climbed down a cliff, and we got one. Yeah, a bit bigger as well. Happy days. First trot in a new swim. And we've got a lively little one again. They're so lively. I can't imagine what a big one would be like. Not sure how long I'm going to be able to hold him. There he is, he's behaving. Such beautiful little fish. Thank the Lord we found some. That's 2 runs, 2 bites, 2 fish. Yeah, it's fighting a bit better, but do the honest tie. Or can't you? Don't worry if you can't. Swap. That's all right. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't think it's double the size, but it's certainly got its head down. Oh, that's a nice fish, that is. It's not huge again, but I don't know. Get the scales out. 14 ounces. There we go. It's the biggest one we've had in these 2 days. Again, not a giant in the world of grayling fishing, but it's not what you come for with these fish. Of course, we all like to have a big one, but they are so beautiful. Very lively out the water. I'm going to get this one back. We'll get back through there. See if we can keep ourselves busy. That net in the way. Might send a bit of corn down, see if I can pick up a bigger one. It's a jumper. Where are you going? Better. But again, put that dorsal up. I'll have the net, please. Thank you, sir. I'll tell you what, new to this, but I could do this all day and I found them. It's probably what I'm going to do. Oh, the net's come out. The net's come out in the hook. The hook's come out in the net. Okay, so the one thing that we have changed between Wednesday and today, and it's something you should always look at doing, is changing something if something's not working. We've changed the hook. We started off on a size 14 grappler, but they're a real thick gauge hook, and we soon learned bumping fish, especially the smaller grayling, that the gauge was just too thick for that. So we've gone to a size 14 Korum specialist hook, and it's a much thinner gauge, holding in the fish's mouths beautifully. A lot of them, as soon as we're losing tension on the hook when the fish are in the net, the hook's coming out in the net. So as long as you keep tension on when you're playing that fish, a nice fine gauge hook is what has worked for us. And it's about changes. It's about ringing the changes and making something happen by changing certain things. And it might be the way your bait falls through the water, might be your depth, or your hook. And on these 2 days, it's been the hook. So it's definitely put some more fish in our net today, and it's really made the difference. We'll carry on trotting through here, but I think with the cold, it's been about -6 or 7 today. It's been bitterly cold. Stood in the river, fingers and toes and all that. So we'll have a couple more trots through and probably call it a day. So the bites have finally dried up on this swim. We've got ice all over our rings, and we're nearly out of maggots. So that's it. Thank you for joining us on the quest for my first grayling. It's been a success. I should definitely be back here onto the river team and certainly be looking for other stretches of rivers to fish for maybe some bigger ones. But honestly, it's such good fun. It's been very cold, but real basic stuff. Float rods, small hooks and some maggots.